From the F&M Bank Arena in downtown Clarksville, welcome to the Atlantic Sun 2023 Basketball Tip-Off. All 12 member institutions are represented here today by each school's men's and women's head basketball coaches and select players. Over the next half hour, we're going to get you set for the upcoming season as we preview the Austin Peay men's basketball team. And hi, everybody. We welcome you inside this beautiful new arena as we're getting you set for the start of the season. I'm Barry Gresham. Pleased to have the new head coach Coach Gipson of Austin Peay men's basketball. So many newcomers on this team, but you're a familiar face, a former point guard here, former assistant coach under Dave Luce, and it was just 7 months ago, if you can believe that, you were right behind us on this stage, named the new head coach here at your alma mater. What's these 7 months been like since that day?
I tell you what, thanks so much for having me. This is such a blessing to have a great staff and have the continuity of that, of them coming from Northwestern State to here, and then having the continuity with our roster. We don't look at this as year one. With us, this is year two because we have the same staff. Here we go. We got the guys up in here. Man, who we got over here? Oh, okay, we got to step back. Hey, this is a mean crew right here now.
It looks like it. How we doing?
Yeah, this is a mean crew.
Well, Coach, the good thing is we're going to be able to introduce the fans to these guys coming up. Isabella Christenson is going to join us, and we're going to have a chance to find out a little bit more about these guys before the season tips off.
Hey, I can tell you one thing. I'm glad I'm on their side and not having to coach against them, because these guys right here can get something done now.
You guys look good. I got to get some of these, man. I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah, you might better get your hands on something. I tell you what, this is a loving crew. This crew has a real brotherhood. Hansel has a NIL with Oakley, but it's amazing how these guys, whatever one have, they all have. Even I got a pair. You're just one big brotherhood with unconditional love. So, man, we thank these guys for being here for us.
Sounds great. We'll talk to you guys coming up here in just a minute. All right.
Now, we'll see you around. Yeah.
As you were saying, though, Coach, you can already see, I mean, you've got familiarity with these guys. As we look at this roster breakdown, 6 of these guys came with you that played with you a year ago, and that's got to help, even though this place is old hat to you because you've been here. You've got some continuity with players that were with you last season that can help, again, with your system with some of these other newcomers that are here.
Yes, we are very selective as a staff. We really dive in on the recruitment process. We don't just take a cold call and somebody say, hey, look, we got a real good player for you. We make sure we peel all the layers, and we make sure that we try to dial in on young men that either have a committed or a compelled mentality. If they don't have that, they can't come be in a governor uniform.
Now, I heard you mention that you're very selective. Of course, you want guys that can play ball. We know that, and you're going to get some great talent. But you're selective in the recruiting process because it's more than just what happens between those white lines when you come to Austin Peay.
Absolutely. You know, we all have to be equally yoked, okay? If we're not equally yoked, then we're going to fall short somewhere. So we make sure that we bring guys in that understand what we're about when it comes to our servanthood, our brotherhood, and our unconditional love. Okay, we live by those creeds. And if we're recruiting somebody and we feel like they're falling short in an area and we can't expedite their growth in that area before they get here, we'll go ahead and move on and go to the next of somebody we think that can be equally yoked with us in the program.
And with this group of guys, let's break it down a little bit. We saw 3 of the gentlemen. We're going to have them interviewed in a moment. But DeMarcus Sharp, Jamonte Black, some guys that were big for you a year ago in your first year as head coach. You got right to the conference championship game, almost got into the big dance. Those are 2 cornerstones right there to build a pretty good ball club on with those 2 guys.
Absolutely. All 3 of those guys are eligible right away. This was Hansel's first transfer, so by NCAA rule, he can play right away. And then Sharp and Black, they're both graduate transfers, so they can play right away. Let me tell you, those guys, the way that they go about it on a daily basis, it's unreal. You really have to be behind closed doors with them and see how early they come in the morning, to see how long they stay, how they come in from the shoulders up and watch film with the coaching staff. It's really something to see. And if you look back throughout their whole career, okay, these guys have won everywhere they've been, all the way down to Pee Wee League.
Yeah,
it's contagious. Winning is a talent. Now, we don't talk winning in the program. We only talk outcome. But if you look at the history of everywhere they've been, they've always been on the plus side of winning.
Yeah, and that's big because this team this year, just year 2 in this conference in the Atlantic Sun, and your first year here. Some good basketball in this league, as you well know, and these guys have played at a high level and should be able to come in and get after it. We will mention, though, all these newcomers on the roster. We do have one guy back, and that's Jalen Ware. I was at practice just a couple of days ago. So impressed with the way he's carrying himself as far as his confidence level. He's bulked up a bit.
He has.
But I was so impressed running the drills that this guy's playing with the level of confidence I didn't see a year ago.
He's so coachable. He's a sponge. He's taking it all in. Now, the guys that we have coming in with us have really expedited his growth when it comes to the retention. You know, sometimes they say a student can teach better than the teacher.
Yeah.
We have some guys that really have helped him behind the scenes and letting them know how we do things around here.
Yeah, he looked great in practice, and you're trying to fit these pieces together. You mentioned you've got Hansel back with DeMarcus and Jamonte, and you've got Desi Jones, another transfer.
Yes,
and I know you're pleased to get him.
Oh, my goodness, let me tell you, he is a fire ant now. If you want to see a real live fire ant, you come watch him play. He can score at all 3 levels. He's a pest in the backcourt when it comes to defending. And I really think that he was going to have a chance to potentially be the player of the year in the MAC this year had he stayed in the MAC. He is a piece of dynamite now. And he really flows and grooves together with this group of guys that we got.
And you've got Jonathan Dunn. You've got Say Witt, who you've got here recently. You got to have some guys down in that paint that's going to rebound. You don't miss often, but when you do, you got to get that board. And you're going to see some guys that can do some damage there.
How big is Say Witt?
Say Witt, they've got him listed at 6'8".
How much weight does he have on him, does it say?
I don't have the weight.
I think he's about 265.
265.
He's about 6'8", 265.
That'll work.
And I'm going to tell you right now, he'll play some point guard for us this year.
Whoa.
There'll be some times where he'll be the lead guard, and the other team will have to make a decision on how they want to handle that.
A business decision.
Yes, indeed.
Good deal. Well, we can't wait to see this team. And Daniel Luce, we want to mention him. We're trying to get to a lot of the guys as I'm glancing the roster, but I think you know that last name, and the legend Dave Luce, his grandson, had a chance to see him get out there, and he's going to bang for you and get some rebounds.
Right now, Daniel Luce leads us in taking charges. That's something that we chart every day. He is assignment correct, as we call it. He knows how to help outside the lane. He knows how to switch up. He knows how to communicate the defenses. He has the ELO down pack early, loud, and often when it comes to communication. He really has a grasp of what we want on that defense side of the ball, and he should, coming from that family tree.
Yeah, he does, and great to see him here with the program. Be great to see Coach Luce. Of course, he was here for your press conference. I know he's been around practice, and with that bond you have playing for him and then being an assistant coach, it'll be great to have the legend back with us this season as well. Want to mention before we go to break that we're here at the Atlantic Sun Tip-Off. The All-ASUN preseason team is out today, and we do have DeMarcus Sharp is the only governor on this 11-man team. We know he belongs, but there might be a few guys that should be on there that aren't.
I'm going to tell you, that blinded me when you said that, so I got to put these back on. So you say we have how many on the preseason also?
There are 11 on the preseason conference team, one governor.
Well, I'll tell you this. Ironically, Sharp was player of the year in the Southland.
Yeah.
Okay? He wasn't a preseason selection in the Southland, and he became the player of the year. Okay? We didn't have any preseason selections in the Southland, right?
Right.
And from what I'm hearing, he wasn't even a unanimous preseason selection in the ASUN. Now, I don't know how you go from POY to not being a unanimous selection in the ASUN, and he was up for multiple National Player of the Year awards after the season.
Yeah.
Had we gone to the dance, he would have been National Player of the Year with one of those awards. Now, aside from that, Jamonte Black is the #1 returning three-point shooter in all of basketball.
Not just in the Southland. You're talking all of NCAA
he
basketball.
He is #1.
Right.
Now, that's a feat within itself. He broke the single season three-point record at Northwestern State his first year. Okay, and he was all conference. Okay, so he's already earned that in another conference. Okay, Desi Jones had a chance to be the player of the year in the MAC this year had he stayed in the MAC.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. okay? And I haven't even mentioned our freshman, Dez White.
That's right. Your true freshman that's on this roster.
He'll have the chance to be one of the best freshmen ever come through Austin Peay.
So you've seen the ASUN All-Conference team. We think it'll be a little different at the end of the season than it is here in the preseason. We just can't wait to see these guys play, and it's coming up. But we're going to have a chance for you to meet them as well. They came out a moment ago, but as we head to break, we're going to introduce the fans to DeMarcus Sharp. Isabella Christenson's going to be along with him. We'll have Coach back here in a moment as we continue our preview of Austin Peay men's basketball. We'll send it down to baseline with Isabella.
All right, here with DeMarcus Sharp. DeMarcus, let's get to know you. Where are you from?
I'm from Charleston, Missouri, born and raised.
Okay. How old were you when you started playing basketball?
Around like 6th grade, around that time.
Yeah. What made you choose the sport of basketball? Why'd you stick with it? What do you love about it?
It was always around my family. I mean, and it was around people that I was familiar with and stuff like that. So I was really raised up on it.
Yeah. Who was a big role model for you in the basketball scene? Who do you model your talents after?
For real, like ever since I done got a little taste of Shea Alexander, I've been more of my game around him ever since. So it's really been him.
Okay, now somebody in basketball you'd go one-on-one with.
Him as well. Yeah.
Right. What are you loving about Austin Peay so far? You guys are new here. You have this great new arena.
I mean, I really like the community. I mean, they show a lot of love. They welcome us with, open arms, and that's really a big thing for us.
Yeah. What's the chemistry been like on the team this year?
The chemistry is really like tight. Like we are familiar with each other on and off the floor. Like Coach preaches brotherhood. So that's just a part of us. Like that's what we're about, brotherhood. And I feel like that's what keeps us gel together.
Yeah. Now you've been with Coach Gipson and you stuck with him. What's the relationship like there with y'all?
Man, I've been with Coach Gipson for a long time. I mean, the relationship is gonna always be tight. I mean, I love him, man. I just love him, man. He molded me to be a great man, on and off the floor, and that's what I love about him.
Yeah. What do fans have to look forward to when they come to watch the Austin Peay Governors play this year?
A lot of threes. I mean, exciting. I mean, we're gonna be loud. We're gonna talk. I mean, pushing the tempo, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good luck on the season, DeMarcus.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with more Govs preview.
You want change. You want a community that supports you. You want the knowledge it takes to make a difference in this world. It's time to be more. It's time to be better. It's time to grow. The world you want to see starts with you. The life you want begins at Austin Peay State University. Learn more at apsu.edu.
Welcome back to Govs Preview here with Hansel Emmanuel. Hansel, how's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. How you doing?
Good, doing good. All right, where are you from?
I'm from Dominican Republic.
Okay, how old were you when you came to the States?
I was 16 when I come to the United States.
Yeah, what was the biggest challenge for you coming here at that age?
My biggest challenge was learning how to learn English. I still don't got the language yet, but I'm putting my effort to keep learning stuff.
Yeah. Well, you've got a big following and you're a huge inspiration to many. How does that make you feel?
I mean, for me, it's like normal because I didn't ask God to be famous, you know what I mean? So it's like really great because after that I can support my family and a lot of people, and inspire a lot of people to get going and chase their dream.
Yeah. Who would you say that your biggest inspiration is?
When I was growing up, it was my dad because he was like one of the best players in DR. So he was my big idol. And it's becoming myself because I really got to prove myself that what God, I don't know how to say it, but it's like I got to prove myself to everybody like who I am, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. What's it been like with the team this year? A new team, new coach, y'all are in a new arena and a new city. What's everything been like?
It's been like great because I think we're going to have a great season. I don't think we're going to have a great season. This year is going to be a great year and we're going to win. And we're going to win the icon that we want. And it's going to be a great season.
Yeah. Now you've been with Coach Gipson a little while. What's the relationship with him? Makes you stick with him?
It's a really great relationship. We are family. Like we got a brotherhood, all the stuff. Like we really together. We got a great communication. We trust everybody the same, and everything is great.
Yeah. What can fans expect to see from the men's Governors this year going into the season?
I think they can expect like we're gonna have the icon we want, and we're gonna show the people what we built for, and we just like trying to work and how you say, like we always work behind the scenes, you know what I mean? So we always trying to be ready for anything that's coming up to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for your time today. We'll be back with more Govs Preview.
And welcome back to F&M Bank Arena for the Atlantic Sun 2023 basketball tip-off. We welcome you back inside the beautiful new arena. Barry Gresham alongside the brand new commissioner. We had our brand new head coach for Austin Peay this year. And we've got the commissioner with us, Jeff Bacon, who comes over from the MAC after 19 years there. Welcome aboard, and let me ask you, it might be your first time in Clarksville, but what do you think about this place here?
It's my second time in Clarksville.
Okay.
It's so good I keep coming back.
All right, good deal.
But wow, I mean, just an unbelievable venue, great partnership in the city here. I think it's everything that any Division I university would dream of having.
And you are now, you said, in month number 4, so
That's right.
Just been on the job a little while. What are some short-term goals that you want to accomplish in year number 1 in the Atlantic Sun?
Yeah, we've accomplished a lot of those goals already, incredibly, and really with the support of our presidents and athletic directors, we've been fortunate to add a member already in the last few weeks. In fact, we've done a little rebranding of the league. We've had a little bit of a misconception issue out there in terms of what our identity is, Atlantic Sun, ASUN, so we've cleaned that up. And we've really gotten going on the basketball side in terms of trying to be strategic and thoughtful about what we're doing for our student athletes, for our coaches, for the tournament, for our regular season, for our scheduling. So that's something that's going to be a big point of emphasis for us now and as we go through the year.
Any big picture, long-term goals that it's going to take a little more time than just a few short months? What's on the back burner now that's going to be on the front burner soon?
Sure. Yeah, you've always got short and long-term goals and everything in between, right? Never ends. But, yeah, we've got a few things. One is we want to take a look at our basketball tournament format and determine if we're putting our coaches and our student athletes in the best position to be successful, to win, and to have an elite experience. So we're going to take a look at that and make sure we're doing it, and that'll take some time. We're really going to develop at some point, I'm hopeful, a series of programs that are really student-athlete facing. So we talk about holistic student-athlete experience. We talk about mental health, physical health, leadership development. We really want to lean into those spaces and be a resource for our campuses and for our student-athletes. That's a longer-term goal. And then really just committing to our identity as a conference and understanding what that is and what that means, and then being really aggressive in telling our story and telling the Austin Peay story to our 16 million plus households, which is an incredible number and what an asset to have at our disposal. So we really need to get into that space and make sure that we're helping our universities, not just our athletic departments, but our universities, tell their stories, talk about their missions to, the entire Southeast, because we own it all, Kentucky to Florida and everything in between. So
yeah, you mentioned it earlier, but conference realignment, it's in the news every day. How do you be proactive and not reactive? It's hard to do as a commissioner, but talk about that space that you're in now where things could change in just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, my opinion is it starts with us. It starts internally. And we and our presidents and our athletic directors are really highly engaged right now in a conversation about who we are, what's important to us as a collection of universities, what's going to be our mission moving forward, what are our guideposts, what are our tenets. If we don't know who we are, how are we determining whether we need to grow or shrink or do anything in between, or how do we manage the world that's spinning around us? So that really starts internally, and I think we've got folks that are prepared for that conversation. And then I think we mentioned earlier, we've got our heads on swivels these days.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Everybody. And so be it. We'll continue to pay attention and navigate and try to be really thoughtful and strategic about what we do. Right now, I'll tell you, I feel great. We've got 12 outstanding institutions that are all heading in an upward trajectory. We're growing in states, we're growing in cities, we're growing in enrollment. Growth is just the word that continues to trickle its way to the top of our vernacular in every way, and I think that's what makes this conference great, and we're going to focus on that as we move forward.
And we do have a new member joining next year.
Yeah, West Georgia. We got a lot of Wests.
Yeah.
West Georgia, we're really excited to bring them in. Division II school who's been very successful, really has been prepared for a Division I move for a long time. I think they really look like a Division I institution, not just athletically again, but as an institutional profile. Keeps us in the state of Georgia, which is a great thing for our coaches and for recruiting and for our storytelling mission.
Right.
And they're going to add a lot of value, and they got great leadership. I mean, they're just great partners. Could not be more excited to welcome them in next year.
I know we're talking basketball today, but let me squeeze in one football question.
Yeah,
of course, the
sure.
United Athletic Conference this year is the ASUN and the WAC with their alliance. But we did see last year the first ever Atlantic Sun football season. Could we get back to that standalone conference hosting football and getting the automatic qualifier from the Atlantic Sun?
I mean, the answer these days to your realignment comment is we could do anything. Anything's possible. So is there a world where that could occur? Of course. There's definitely a world where that could occur. I would say right now we're really focused on the relationship with the WAC. They've been tremendous partners. I think we're good partners to them as well. I hope we are. I think the UAC is really a brand identity that's been developed to try to tell that story a little bit cleaner than ASUN, WAC, ASUN, whatever that is or isn't. So I think the UAC umbrella and brand has added a level of profile to that. And we're focused right now on making sure that that league is successful, and then we'll see what happens.
Sounds good. Great to have you on board. Best of luck in year number 1. We hope to see you in this building a lot more in the future.
I plan to be back. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's the Atlantic Sun Commissioner Jeff Bacon. Glad to have him here as part of the Atlantic Sun Tip-Off. We're previewing the Govs, and let's kick it back now to Isabella. She's got a chance now to visit with Jamonte Black.
All right, welcome back to Govs Preview here with Jamonte Black. Jamonte, how's it going?
It's going good. Good.
Good. All right, we'll give you some rapid fire questions here. Where are you from?
I'm from Columbia, Missouri.
Okay. All right. And what about Austin Peay are you liking so far?
I love everything about it. I mean, I love the city, the people here, the campus, the community. I love everything about it.
Yeah, absolutely. How old were you when you started playing basketball?
Since I can remember, so probably about 4 or 5.
Yeah. What made you choose basketball at such a young age?
A lot of my family played basketball. My uncles, my grandpa, a lot of my family. So I gravitated towards it.
Yeah. If you could go one-on-one with anybody in the basketball scene, who would it be?
Anybody? LeBron.
Okay.
LeBron.
All right. What's the relationship been like with your teammates this year?
Great. I mean, we have a brotherhood. That's what we. That's one of our main. One of our main things we talk about is brotherhood, so that's what we do.
Yeah, and the relationship with Coach Gipson, you followed him here to Clarksville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like between you two?
Man, he's like a big brother to me, man. He holds me accountable. He makes sure everything good with me and my family. We have a great relationship.
Yeah, are there any team goals for you guys this year going into the season?
The only goal that we have is winning the championship, so that's the only thing that we talk about. That's what we want to achieve here.
All right, Jamonte, thanks so much.
Thank
We'll
you.
be back with more on Govs Preview.
I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee. Fort Knox, Kentucky. Jackson, Tennessee.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Memphis, Tennessee. San Diego, California.
Nashville, Tennessee.
New York City, New York.
San Diego, California.
Atlanta, Georgia. Nashville.
Los Angeles, California.
New York, New York.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Orlando, Florida.
Los Angeles, California.
Baltimore, Maryland. Clarksville, Tennessee.
Carolina Beach, Carolina.
Philadelphia.
St. Louis, Missouri. Clarksville, Tennessee.
And welcome back inside the F&M Bank Arena. You've had a chance to get to know these players a bit. Our final segment of the show. And, Coach, we talked about the preseason All-ASUN team, but let's get into the ASUN preseason predictions.
Yes.
And we'll take a look at those. And Eastern Kentucky's a team picked in the coaches poll. They do have a great returning team, very good team from a year ago. Florida Gulf Coast, Stetson, Kennesaw State, Lipscomb, Bellarmine, North Alabama, and then number 8, the Governors.
Yes, sir.
In the preseason poll. Finished up Jacksonville, Queens, North Florida, Central Arkansas. When you see something like that, it's based on, they'll look at last year as well and see the players returning. I see you as listed as the sleeper team, though, in so many publications. And you're so down there at number 8 in the preseason poll, you can be a sleeper and really shock this league in year 1.
What I can tell you, you can see I got my blinders on now.
Yeah.
And we really just focus on ourselves. I don't know what those other teams have. I really don't. I only know what we have. And I know what we have done since the summer to really get this team to a place where we feel like that we're getting close to a point to where we feel like we can do something special. And that's the only thing that really matters to us. I know the guys that we have on our roster, we're glad that we have them on our side. And we're looking forward to representing the ASUN and Austin Peay and getting started this year.
There's also the media poll. You're 11th in that. But, again, this team can slip up on some people this year because this is the first time this group's been together. They'll know the key pieces that are coming with you. But it's going to be a fun year because this league, it's a good basketball league for sure.
Right.
There's some great teams in it. But I'm anxious to see how your style of play is going to work this season. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so tell me how this works. So if you were picked 11th by the media,
yep.
Okay, and then you have only one preseason guy, he's not unanimous. And then if you finish somewhere up in the top 3 or so, then does that mean my coaching staff, they get coaches of the year?
That's normally how it works, Coach.
Or can they pick you low? Can they pick you low and then still when you exceed? What does that mean when sometimes in conferences I see what happens is that in the preseason you get picked low.
Right.
And then when you exceed expectations at the end of the year, it's as if you weren't picked low. And then when you don't have preseason selections, you pick low and then you still exceed expectations. What do you have to do in order when you pick low for your staff? Because it's not about me.
Right.
Because our staff works hard.
Yeah.
Okay. And when expectations are exceeded, how do you make sure people vote right?
Well, I got a feeling that when we're here next year, the votes will be a little bit different. But your team is such an unknown as far as coming together this year. Picked 8th. If I'm in your position, though, I like it, man. A little something, a little chip on the shoulder. Picked 8th. A little something. You're going for a conference title anyway, but just a little more juice for this club to look up there, because that's not where the standings you hope are going to be at the end of the year. You're not going to be 8th.
Yeah, sometimes I think with that voting, there's some brother-in-law going on. That's that's my old man used to say, some brother-in-law going on. But my grandma used to always say, what don't come out in the wash will come out in that dry.
Right. And it'll all take care of itself on the court.
It'll take care of itself. It'll wash out.
Right, and it's coming soon. Let's talk before we get out of here. We're at this beautiful new arena, but you don't just bus over here and play a game and then go back. Your offices are here. Your locker room is here. Your meeting rooms, as we look at some footage of
We're here.
You got it all, and
Yes,
this place
indeed.
is beautiful.
It is. It is. I tell you what, what has come together in Clarksville, Tennessee, with our administration and the political parties in the community, of how they've come together as one to put all this together. I mean, we've brought our daughter, little Frankie, to see Paw Patrol and Disney on Ice. This is just a great attraction for the community, and we're so blessed to be a part of this. And we look forward to putting some smell up in here and getting that floor squeaking for some basketball.
Well, it's certainly impressive when you do have recruits on campus and you can take them through this locker room, the facilities, and let them know they got a chance to practice in this arena, play their games here.
Yes.
Now it's time to start winning some games in here, and you're going to start out the season playing your lone exhibition against an old foe for Austin Peay, Tennessee Tech. John Pelfrey will bring his team in, and then it's off and running, and I know you want to see this place filled up.
Yes, indeed. We got our Gov Madness coming up October 26th, and I tell you what, the tickets are already selling out for that. That's going to be open to the public. And then with Tennessee Tech coming in, my junior year, we played Tennessee Tech in the championship game for us to go to the NCAA tournament. So we got some old past rivalries with Tennessee Tech, but it's for a greater good. That night, Operation Stand Down deals with disabled military veterans. We really wanted to pay homage to Fort Campbell Military Base and including the veterans in on that day. We wanted to open it up the right way. And you can't open this up in Clarksville, Tennessee without paying homage to those veterans.
Exactly right. So we want you to get here for that one. That'll be November 1st. The first ever game played on this court right behind us is Tennessee Tech. The old foe from the OVC will come in for the exhibition game, and then the season gets started. Opening night, November 6th. It will be here before you know it. We want you loud and proud in here for the Govs this season. Coach, best of luck have some fun this year, stay healthy, and let's prove some people wrong. What about it?
Hey, let's do the deal, baby.
All right, sounds good.
My man.
That's Corey Gipson. That's our preview of Austin Peay men's basketball. Our season gets underway very soon, so stay tuned. Get your tickets and get here at F&M Bank Arena. I'm Barry Gresham for Isabella Christenson. We'll see you this season.